Okay, when you are done sculpting and you have at least 3 features on your selfie that's raised up off the surface, then what you're going to do is start working on the background and the frame. So I want you to practice making carved textures into the clay because you're going to have a carved texture as your background. So you are always welcome to use any of the wooden tools in the yogurt cups at your table and come up with a carved texture that's going to be in the background. So you could draw in designs if you want. You could just use the tools and kind of press them into the clay and see what marks are left, and you can start to make designs that way. But I also have texture rollers. So each bucket will have, I don't know, maybe 6 different texture rollers, and these are already carved into pieces of wood. So what you would do is flatten out a slab of clay that's your practice, and you take your hand and you press down into the clay and you roll it across the clay. So you have to figure out how much hand pressure to use to make the texture, but without squishing it so flat into the table. Then, if you don't like it, you can smear the top and try another texture roller and see which one you like. So this one has a leaf print on it. So I would sample all the different texture rollers that are available if you want to use a texture roller, or like I said, you could just draw the design or carve the design by hand. So when you have that figured out, you're going to roll out a second slab of clay using your guide sticks. And then what you're going to do is set your selfie on top of that extra slab. Use a tool to trace around the shape that you cut out last class or whenever you finished carving your details. Then you're going to take your selfie off and you're going to finish cutting through the clay. So I stand my fettling knife up tall and I press down till I hit the tabletop, and then I cut through the clay. And if I mess up, I can always just squish this clay up and re-roll it again. Okay, so this is now going to be my background slab of clay. So now what I'm going to do is texture roll the surface, and I liked this leaf print. So I could roll straight up and down, or I could roll across. If I roll across this way, it will cover more of the clay at one time. So okay. Then I missed this bottom area, so I'm going to roll the bottom area here. And remember, not all of this is even going to show up in your background. For me, really the top edge is what's going to show. So I'm going to reprint this top edge also. Okay, so now I've got my texture rolled out. And now what I'm going to do is set this to the side, and I'm going to get my selfie. And I'm going to cut away the background. So I'm going to cut right along the edge of my selfie. And I'm going to remove that piece of clay. So now it's just my selfie that's cut out. And now I'm going to get my background slab that had the texture carved into it. And I am going to attach those two together. So I need to use my bowl of water and my toothbrush, and I'm going to score slip stick smooth. Now, in order to know where I need to score, I'm going to kind of gently draw that line around the outside edge so that when I pick this up, I know where I need to do the brushing. So I want to make sure that I'm generous with how heavy I'm pressing. And I had already dunked this in water, so you can see the slip is on the surface. So now I need to carefully flip over my selfie. And I'm going to score slip. Step 3 is stick. Now I'm going to line that up with that edge that I traced. And I want to press it to make it adhere, but I don't want to press so hard that I crush my 3D pieces. Okay, so now I've got my background attached behind my selfie, and then the next step would be to work on the frame that I'll show you later.